Welcome to RVU, an RV insider podcast where I will interview industry experts, icons, and influencers. Class is in session as we discuss all things RV. I'm your host, Angie Morell, and today I am so glad to have Matt Ellinger with me here today, Vice President of Sales at Newmar.
That's it.
Woo!
Right, yeah.
That's a big title.
Well, thank you.
So you're over all of sales for Newmar nationally.
Correct, yes. So little bit about me and my background. Obviously, we've worked together.
Yes.
I come from Winnebago, and before that, if you go all the way back, you could kind of say I grew up in this industry. I started selling Newmar and Itasca, which is a Winnebago.
So you knew from the get-go, Matt.
I know. No, you're right. It was foreseen in the stars, I guess. But yeah, I mean, growing up in the industry, I worked on the retail side for 5 years, and then went over to the wholesale side. And then most recently, for the last 4 years, I was working with Winnebago. And then the opportunity to take over for John Samut was an opportunity that I really just, to me, Newmar is an aspire to brand. Because
you had a good gig going on at Winnebago.
For sure, yeah.
I see that they had plans for you there as well, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I represented the Southeast. It was something that I really liked. I wanted to be with a quality product and certainly felt that Winnebago
awesome
was
rep,
there.
By the way.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Appreciate
I
that.
still want to call you for Winnebago, too.
You do, that's true. All Newmar questions from now on.
Okay. Maybe just one more. Okay.
But when an opportunity like this comes up in our industry, there's not many brands that you would leave a trusted, valued brand like Winnebago to go be with. And Newmar was that for me. I think that parallels a lot of what our retail customers think too. You look at what they stand for as far as quality, as far as service after the sale, before, during, and after. A lot of parallels to what National Indoor does too.
Absolutely.
But for me, it was really.
That's why we work so good together.
I know. That's right. That's right. Because again, where's our focus?
Customer.
That's right. And to
experience.
Us is for me to work for a company that really has the customer in mind. It's the number one thing we look at. And like I said, before, during, and after the sale, it was really important for me when I took this position. So really excited to be here.
Well, we are really excited to have a fresh new face that we already know.
Yeah.
And really, like I said, just in jest kind of, but we really did love having you as our rep. Always gave us good data. As if anyone knows National Indoor RV Centers, we never just, do something to do it.
Sure.
We have to have data to back it up. And you provided a lot of that for us when you're at Winnebago. So I know that will transfer over to the Newmar side as well. So we're really excited about that. One of the things that I think the customer base really wants to know out there, because when there was the merger between Winnebago purchasing Newmar, there is a lot of scuttlebutt out there.
Sure.
And we've always been excited about it because we knew the quality of company that Winnebago was. So what do you think that synergy is going to be? I know what I think it is, but from your perspective, especially coming from Winnebago and now how long have you been with Newmar now?
So this is my third month.
Third
so I'm
month?
a baby, right?
Yeah, so now
But I've had an opportunity to witness the culture firsthand. Mm-hmm. And so I've been on both sides of the fence. One of the things that I think it mirrors both companies is the pillars in which we're built on: quality, service, and innovation. So taking what a customer wants, taking what not only our current customers, right? Because we know that they may go up or they may trade down. Listening to them, we call it voice of customer. Mm-hmm. Getting that feedback. What do they want in their next coach? But also looking at maybe the new Newmar customer, right? Right. Who's the emerging customer that's going to be coming into this market? Not just
who do you want to draw into Newmar? How are you going to bring that new customer to you?
Exactly. So one of the things that I think I wanted to bring to the table was listening to what that customer wants, listening to the feedback of, hey, we need cup holders in certain positions, or we want this in our next coach. It's a lot of that I did in my previous position that I want to bring to Newmar. It's that listening, have a feel for the voice of the customer and what that is, because ultimately that drives everything that we do.
It does. So how do you plan to do that, Matt? That's a big task.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's a team effort, right? So being over the entire Newmar sales, we have district managers, our account managers, that'll call on our dealers, but also will be at retail shows that will listen to what, the feedback of our customers. It's attend things like our country club rally, which I can't wait to do and meet our customers, which I haven't had the opportunity to do.
I know. I just want to know how you're going to attend that meeting.
I'm going to be in an RV.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'll be in a Ventana.
That's what I was leaning towards.
Bath and a half Ventana. So I can't wait. But it'll show one, we are avid campers. My family and I, we usually, this just because we've been friends for a long time. We camp in the wintertime. We boat in the summertime. So
he has a good life.
It is. It is. That's why,
Yeah.
I chose this industry. I had a guy tell me a long time ago, it was a rep way back when, he said it's fun to sell fun.
It is. It is. That's a great way to, I've never heard it exactly like that, but I always say I have such a fun job because we are selling a dream, an adventure, a lifestyle.
We have to keep that in mind. And when, going from Winnebago to Newmar, and now, what I'm learning and continue to learn in this position is the luxury product, right? Going from a certain standard to an even higher standard.
Right.
And that's one thing that
much higher expectation from your customer base.
Absolutely.
Although it should be the same either way, right?
For sure. It should be, but coming over to a luxury diesel, whether it's from a King Air to an Essex to a London to a Mountain Air, that's what I wanted to really look at is, who those buyers are. Why are they choosing Newmar? Why should they choose Newmar? And then ultimately, after they buy that, how can we service them, right? How can we make sure that they get impeccable service and continue to be in the Newmar family, whether they're trading up or trading down?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, and it's attending things like the AIM rally, right?
Well,
which I've done in the past.
That's one of the things I wanted to commend you on, because it's one of the things I always remember. Matt showing up to one of our all-inclusive Motorhome Club rallies in an RV.
Yep.
And the next thing I know, I get a text. I'm going out to get some drinks. I'm going out to get some snacks. I'm going to have a little, impromptu
happy hour
at my coach. And I love that,
That's what it is, Angie. It's just having happy hours, right?
I know, happy hour, sitting by the fire, s'mores.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with chocolate.
It was great. I'll never forget that experience either, because even though I met a lot of luxury diesel customers, no matter what brand they had, I was in a gas coach, and the greatest thing that they could give me was their opinions on it too.
Oh, because they actually have been, they probably had really good suggestions.
Yeah.
Because they've got, and guess what? They have kids.
That's it.
They have kids that want to do what mom and dad are doing,
Yes.
and they can't afford what mom and dad have.
Yes.
So there's always a step up opportunity there.
So I'm familiar with that, right? And that's what I want to bring to Newmar. That's what I want to make sure that we continue to do, not only this next year for 2024 models, but years, moving forward.
Well, that will be great. I'm excited to see what, the changes and what you'll bring to Newmar. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's a day at Newmar look like for Matt?
Okay. Let's see. Since I live in Tampa, right? I live in Tampa, and I fly to Newmar for office days. So for me, what a day looks like is probably looking at strategies. How are we looking at what the business looks like moving forward? It's being in product development meetings, like we talked about before. Sales has this innate ability to connect with the customer because we're on the front lines.
Yeah, we know what they're looking for.
And they tell us.
Oh, over and over and over.
Right? But the more we hear that, the more we can incorporate that into our product lines. So, it's sitting in product development meetings. It's looking at the strategy of what does our overall sales strategy look like moving forward? We have over 80 dealers that we do business with. I like to say that, Newmar likes to be customer centric, but dealer focused, right?
That's right.
So
I think some of those dealers are more important than others. No, I'm kidding.
No, I get it.
I'll get you in trouble.
Don't get me in trouble. Yeah, I'm only 3 months on the job.
I know.
No, just kidding. So yeah, it's looking at what that is. It's a lot of it is just touching base with our team members and making sure that the culture of Newmar, for instance, we just developed a mission statement. We had never had a sales mission statement. And one of the points of our sales mission statement was to be the number one RV manufacturer, both in sales, marketing, and in product development. And we want to tailor our service, innovation, and quality pillars into that. So it's developing a culture within our sales team that goes out and is not afraid to talk to customers, not afraid to be, again, customer centric, dealer focused, but customer centric, to make sure that we're on the right track.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Now, just, going off the cuff here. So will you be, I know that when you're with the other company, you often, had a coach that you used with your family. Sure. Will you be implementing any of that with your sales team at Newmar? Because I do think that's so important to have real life experience in a coach. I know when you did it and you came to our rallies, that like your experience getting there and being there, how much did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, it's a great question. So
on the hot spot.
It really is, Angie, because one of the things that I want to implement to our team, and we have a really good group. I say this a lot, but there's a term in college football coaching, means sometimes a college football coach leaves and they leave the cupboard bare, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what John's pending retirement, he actually left me a really good cupboard of some really quality people that I manage.
Absolutely.
That being said, I want to take it to a different level. I want them to strategically focus on what are your core objectives as a dealer, mm-hmm. right? Where's our current state? And then where do we want to be, right? And how can we help facilitate that? So to us, that, in my team, what we're developing is a bedrock strategy. What is the most important things that's important for NIRBC? And then let's take it, each pillar from there, right? Retail sales, the ability to showcase, particular motorhomes. So for us, me doing it, right, mm-hmm. and then being able to coach it, I think really is a development within our team that has been very, very good, but I want to take them to another level.
That's great. No, I think that's wonderful. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and I want to introduce you to the first annual 2024 Music City Motorhome Expo, a VIP shopping experience. This event is the first of its kind for the RV industry. This boutique style event means no massive crowds, and attendees get exclusive access to be the first to see new 2025 model year, one-on-one time with manufacturers and industry experts, educational seminars, all meals, snacks, drinks, and campsites provided, and entertainment by Diamond Rio and Josh Turner. Remember, your registration fee will be applied to the purchase of a motorhome up to a year after the event. You won't want to miss the event that changes the way consumers shop for motorhomes.
Today's episode receives support from the All-Inclusive Motorhome Club. The AIM Club connects you with fellow RV enthusiasts from all across the country and comes with a ton of great benefits, including special discounts, VIP services, and exclusive access to incredible rallies and RV events, all for just $35 a year. Learn more at aimclub.org.
What are you most excited for in your 2024 lineup? Because there's only a few out there on the market, those coaches that came to the dealer meeting.
Yeah.
And then I know here in the next couple of months, we'll be getting that 24 to market.
Yep.
So what are you most excited about?
So one of the things, I'll tell you a story. My first week on the job was our dealer meeting. So,
nothing better than
just diving right in.
That's right. That's right.
And I had the opportunity at the dealer meeting for the first time to look at every single model and almost every single floor plan. And two things that stuck out. One, during the meeting and meeting our dealer network, there was a family atmosphere. There really was. And I think that's the culture that Newmars built over time. You know, a very much family atmosphere, which was really awesome to feel while I was there, especially being new and taking over for someone that's been at the position for so long. Two, I went into every single coach and one could feel the quality, whether it was fit and finish, whether it was sitting down in the theater seat, whether it was, you know, things closing properly. And then three, I thought of our coaches as works of art.
Sure.
And I was really excited to sell a work of art, that the guys in the plant are artisans and they do a fantastic job. And when you walk in, it's a wow. It doesn't look like every other motorhome that's out there. It doesn't look like every other motorhome that's our competition. It is a wow from the very get-go.
So what was your biggest wow factor? What was the biggest thing that you walked in all these coaches?
Yeah.
What was the thing that you're like, oh, wow, they do that different?
One, a 38-foot Mountain Air that has a tag axle that has a 500, right? You know?
525.
525, yeah, sorry. See, thanks. I can learn from you.
I'm helping you.
Yeah. So 525, 38 feet, tag axle, side radiator. I mean, just on and on and on. And with the interior that's just drop dead gorgeous. I mean, that coach can be for somebody who has a 45-foot, who wants to trade down,
Yep.
right? Or someone who's aspiring to get into that Mountain Air, but doesn't want to be 43, 45 feet. So
Right.
that I thought was a wow. And the other one that was a wow was our Super C. You know, our Super C grill on a Supreme Air is like, you want to talk about aggressive and like chrome, and the paints on our coaches, again.
The paints looked, I would say,
Beautiful.
more so than any dealer. I mean, any year that I've been to your dealer meeting, they always look nice. But this year, they really stood out. Like, I was like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. And then it just kind of went on and on and on. I really noticed your paint did that.
Those are the two things that stood
Fantastic
out for
this year.
me. And then the highlight, I loved a paint that was on one of the London Airs that was just beautiful. It was beautiful blue. The lines in our coach are beautiful. Even some of the things that I noticed difference from maybe my previous manufacturer experience, using high-end appliances. You know, nothing but Samsung,
Right.
nothing but Bose. That what you feel, right? Nothing but the best. Again, our tagline is when you know the difference. But the difference between a low-end television and a high-end television, you know, is pretty great.
Right.
And so when you only use the high-end, that stuck out for me. And like I said, that Super C was just awesome. I just hadn't been familiar with it. So seeing what that Super C gives you in a, you know, in a front grille, and then the cab area, and then what it looks like in the actual coach was awesome.
They did look fantastic. And we're super excited because we are now a Super C
It's
dealer.
a good segue, right?
I know.
National Indoor now being a Super C.
Yeah. So tell me, sell me a Super C.
Oh,
See,
gosh.
I'm going to make you do my job.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I may have to ask you for some pointers, right? Hot seat. I think the Super C buyer likes to feel safe. I think it could be for that person who wants that extra buffer, right, in the beginning or in the entryway of the coach, feels a little more comfortable driving that.
Yeah.
We hear it a lot where, you have male-female dynamic, and usually it's the dad, the male that drives. And now with that Super C, I think it's very easy, to get behind the wheel, whomever you are, and drive miles plural in that. We have an air ride cab in a Class C body.
Right. I know. I can't wait.
It's incredible.
I can't wait
until you get in there.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to watch her video on it.
Me too.
We'll go get it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that with the combination of, whether it's turning radius or whether it's a bunkhouse, that just isn't as intimidating, but also isn't a Ford chassis. Right? Does that make sense?
No.
Built on a Freightliner.
Right. So you're going to have
rear
that
ride suspension.
sturdy feel as you're going down the road. I also had someone that gave me a great, they told me why they loved it. They loved it because for serviceability, if you have to service the chassis or the engine, you don't have to come inside the coach. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Great point.
Hadn't thought about it. So
that's a really good
anyway,
point.
We're excited to have that product.
Oh, I think you guys will do awesome with it.
Yeah,
it'll be really good.
So how are you managing this evolving market that we're in with the, it's a crazy market with the conditions right now, inflation, rising interest rates, rising costs on everything?
Yeah, another good question that we've thought about a lot. And one of the things that I think is tried and true, whether you're, facing some headwinds in a market like we are, or if it's the greatest market ever, one thing is always tried and true is the quality of your product and the service afterwards. So how are we managing it? We're not letting up on quality, right? We're not letting up on service after the sale.
That's a biggie.
Which is very easy to do to cut corners when you're not selling as many in the public. It's very easy to cut corners at that spot.
It probably would hurt you more than anything, though.
Exactly.
Because as soon as they have a coach they spend $500,000 on that no one answers the phone when they call.
Yes.
They're
that for us, that level
that fun
of
factor just went down.
Yep. and the expectation level is different with Newmar, and we want to stay at that expectation level to be the premier, not just diesel, but gas, RV manufacturer out there. We want to be as consistent as possible, whether times are really, really good or whether times are really, really bad. So for us, I think it's maintaining a level of consistency as far as service, as far as innovating, really good product. And then ultimately, I think it always comes down to quality. At the hallmark of what we do. We are never going to be the least expensive motorhome out there.
Right.
And that's because we are always going to choose what's best for our customer and what's overall best for our particular brand. And to me, when times are tough and you're looking at multiple different diesel or gas coaches, and yes, we may be a little bit higher, I think that person will always err on the side of quality and spend a little bit more for it.
Right. If it's worth it, they'll spend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would always try to get my customers, if you could hear them saying what they wanted and they wanted to spend this much, I'm like, if you can just stretch a little bit, I think you're going to be happier longer with this.
I was just talking to somebody about this too, Angie. It was a retail, I was there, I was at the dealership and they said, almost verbatim of what you said. I try to, whether it's $100 more a month or $500 more a month, what they try to paint the picture of is, are you going to spend it up front, right? Mm-hmm. And then maybe not have all of the headaches?
Right.
Or are you going to spend it on the back end with not being able to use your coach because it's in the shop, or spending money on something that broke down or something like that. So it's where do you want to spend it?
Or another thing that I see a lot of customers do is spending on upgrades to make it what they wanted.
Yes. Yeah.
But then they're never going to quite get what they wanted. But those aftermarket upgrades can be expensive.
Very expensive.
And not always lead to the end result that they're wanting. So.
And I think, you have that similar feel that I do. Ultimately, we take it personally when you sell something to one of your customers, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I just want them to be happy. And that's what I always say. It doesn't matter, they'll say, well, I'm not buying the King Air. I don't care. Yeah. I don't want you to buy the King Air. I want you to buy what you're going to be comfortable spending so that you can use it and enjoy it. And it doesn't matter to me one bit if you are buying this coach or this coach, you're still a customer.
Absolutely. That's what I love about
That's
Newmar. You could have a Baystar in front of a King Air, and then a Supreme Air, and then a Dutch Star. I mean, it goes down the same line. It gets built. So let's start with quality and then add amenities, right?
Yep.
So just exactly to your point, whether you're buying a Baystar Sport or you're buying a King Air,
You're just as important to me.
that build process is almost exactly the same. You know, where yes, there's more
We
amenities.
just keep adding more.
We just keep and getting bigger, right?
Yeah.
You know, but
A few
you know,
more
we just
wires,
do
technology.
things different. Yeah, I mean, whether it's the hung wall insulation, or whether it's not using block foam insulation but real in channels. I mean, I had the opportunity to tour our facility just recently with my family over the July 4th break.
So
and I took some pictures.
you're training.
I'm
you're
trying.
Up and coming.
Yeah. I showed my kids, here's a raw chassis. So, and they're like, Dad, this is boring after like 10 minutes. But I thought it was great.
Yeah. You'll get them. You'll get them.
I'll get them there. But yeah, it's, to me, when I really look at, what we talk about is delivering that expectation. That's how I love Newmar, is that expectation starts at Baystar Sport and works its way up.
Absolutely.
And we want to deliver that every single time because we want to keep that customer too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want them to go up and down. They go both ways.
Yeah. and you know this very, very well. I usually say people talk at the campfire, but I'll say, how about people talk at the AIM rally? How's that?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
People talk at the AIM rally.
People talk at the AIM rally. And there's different owners that can sway different owners, and they talk about their what? Experience.
Oh, yeah. Their experience. And if their experience is good because they're on the road and it's moving and everything's working, that experience is a lot better.
Yeah. and that's what it's what I'm really excited about working here. I really am. Not that it didn't happen in previous positions, but man, I'm really happy that I'm part of this culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of all these, the extra things that you get with the Newmar, we also over the last couple of years have seen a big hike in prices.
Sure.
So what can we expect in the coming years as far as price increases go?
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab my
crystal ball.
Right? Yeah. One of the nice things about 2024 is that the price increases that happened in previous generations didn't happen as far as percent-wise, didn't move on to the 2024 product. That was one thing that we really wanted to do. Did it go up slightly because it had a life cycle change? Absolutely. I mean, we changed a lot inside the coach. That tends to cost a little bit more. But in relative to what you saw in 23 and 22, whether it was inflation or whether it's just we couldn't get generators and just suppliers, bringing their costs into the fold, I would like to say that in 2024, we have very, very minimal price increases, which is great.
Which is great. Yeah, it is.
Where we wanted to stay. We're, talking with Paul White, who's our new director of engineering. We're going to do things within our build cycle that will help us in some cost relief within our coaches. I'll let him tell you all about that.
Okay.
But that'll help for 2025. That'll help for 2026. Bringing those things into the fold will help us make sure that the days of those very, very high price hikes are hopefully eliminated. Can never say never, but
right.
Hopefully are eliminated. We're really working hard on it.
Great. So do you have any, I know you've just been here 3 months.
Yeah.
But do you have any customer interactions at Newmar that have been unique or memorable to you in your short 3 months?
I don't.
Okay, that's
How about this? I'm really looking forward to having them.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to shy away from them.
Well, hopefully you're coming to an AIM rally, or we have a lot of your customers.
I know. So I have. We're going to be camping in Sedalia, which will be pretty great for our country club. we'll be camping at a rally we're going to have in the Keys.
Oh, nice.
And then also
That's with the country club?
with the country club.
Okay.
And then I will try to make an AIM rally in which, you and I have done this before, whether it's a question and answer. The one AIM rally, I actually, we held a question and answer, and it was interesting because I didn't have a really good coach that was met the needs of who was there. But
It's
now
okay.
I have a lot of them.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't yet. Incredibly looking forward to meeting our customer base because we can glean a lot of knowledge from them.
Yeah, it's the most valuable
Agreed.
market study you can get is just to come and talk to the customers, I think.
For
So,
sure. I mean, and again, I mentioned the word family within our dealer network, but I think that same word applies for our customers. They're like family. We take it to heart when they're experiencing some issues, and we try to do the best to get them back on the road. But when they're really having a good time and creating memories that, those will be the ones that resurface, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And they talk about it and they just have a smile on their face. That's what we want. We don't want to lose the customer, right? We gained so many new customers during COVID.
Oh, we did.
Right?
Yeah.
Brand
And
new
they've
customer
really
base.
stayed in the lifestyle too. A lot of
Yes.
people thought that was going to be, they do it, they try it, and then there'd be a lot of, coaches on the market. But really, those customers, they tried it and they liked it.
Yeah. And that's great. And we want them to stay in it for 10, 20, 30 years and then pass
Not
that
the same coach,
Not
though.
the same coach. Yeah. You probably know, what is it, 3.5 years? Is that what-
4.3.
Is it 4.3? Okay. I knew you'd know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we want them to pass on that those traditions, that passion for being outdoors, for experiencing this great country of ours, and do it in a Newmar.
Yeah.
And like I said, we want to capture them and then keep them inside the family.
All right, one last question.
Sure.
So at NIRVC, we're all about the RV revolution, in that we are working hard to improve the industry, provide different experiences for our customers, a different level of service. What projects are you working on at Newmar that will advance the RV revolution?
Yeah, I gotta really say you guys do an awesome job. I mean, you really do, and I say that because I've seen it firsthand. Whether it's at your rallies or whether it's at your dealerships, because I've been there, or the facilities, or it's your partnership with different manufacturers that help them get customers back on the road. So that I will really commend you guys for doing a great job
thank you.
for. And that's what this industry needs. We need to keep, like we just talked about, we need to keep people on the road and keep them enjoying their RVs. One thing I think, if I were to think about that question from a sales standpoint, honestly, it might be breaking out of the mold of this is how we've always done it.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
I don't think those words are going to fly here anymore. This is how we've always done it. This is how we've always done it. And trust me, there's been, and a lot of our owners will say, no, keep it that way.
Right.
You guys have a really good product. And a lot of our dealers, hey, keep doing what you're doing.
Status quo. Just
Right. What we're
don't-
hearing and what we're seeing from other manufacturers might just, might be a little bit different from that. But I guess this, saying, breaking that mold of this is how we've always done it is not always a bad thing.
No, I think that brings some new energy, new
Sure.
ideas, fresh new thoughts to the industry, and definitely we always want to do that because that's growth, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that, I may bring to the table, a fresh set of eyes, right? That will look at things just a little bit different. Keep the pillars and keep the hallmark traditions of what Newmar has stood for over 50 years. We will never lose that.
Right.
Ever. Right. But also bringing Newmar into the new 21st century of the new buyer might be something that I could help us do.
Absolutely. I think you will for sure. So,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited that we get to be partners and work together. and watch you do that. So
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Matt. Loved having you. Make sure you tune in to our next episode to see which industry expert, icon, or influencer is up next. Until then, class is dismissed, and we'll see you down the road.